All right, so let's get into this. There's maybe some still people jumping on. I'm going to share my screen as well. And let's just get started here. Ooh, this moved out of the way, 1 second. Share screen. This one. All right, so can everybody see this PowerPoint presentation? Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Don't want any glitches. Yeah, got some thumbs up, got some head shakes. Awesome, love it.
It's all
right.
good.
So we're going to be talking about live streaming on social media, and we're actually going to be presenting myself and Alma. So I'll introduce her as well as part of the team. So I'm Hollie. I'm the founder of Creative Solutions. It's a new market agency that has been around for about 6 years almost in July. And we really do help a lot of businesses find creative ideas and solutions around marketing and visuals, so website design development, graphic design, social media management, and overall marketing and business strategies. So you can always reach out at any point. We have Alma. When I leave Alma, I don't know if everyone can see. So Alma is our director of social media here at Creative Solutions. She's brilliant when it comes to social media. The awesome part is that she's actually never done any sort of marketing and social media before she met me. Yep. She has a background as an executive assistant, and she happens to be super cool. She gets my personality. She gets the whole entire brand of Creative Solutions. And she's been with us for, how long have you been with us for?
It's been 3.5 years, but it feels like longer. Absolutely. But yeah, 3.5 amazing years.
In a good way. In a good way,
yep.
Though. Not, okay.
Yeah. Oh, in a good way.
It feels like so much longer.
We've grown a lot together. And I mean, well, when you're talking about a few minutes ago about social media basics, you taught me that 3.5 years ago, and now here we are, and it's fantastic.
Got it. So she started out as a social media manager dealing with clients and doing all the work. And then we grew so much that we actually had to move her into a bigger position that really oversees everything to do with the social media side of the business. So she comes up with the strategy, she comes up with all the goals and the plans. She manages our team and helps train them, as well as client face-to-face, day-to-day type of interactions with the clients, and providing ideas and solutions and contest ideas. She's really good at what she does. So she happens to know a lot about going live because we have a few clients that never went live before, and now they're doing it weekly. So she's been really involved in that. So I've asked her to come along to help with this particular presentation. So you might see her face more, you might not. We'll see what happens. She might be nervous.
I'm definitely nervous. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, she's good though. No. All right, so let's get started. So just a little bit of housekeeping. If you guys want to take pictures or screenshots and post them, do your thing. Just make sure you tag Creative Solutions and also tag the Newmarket Chamber of Commerce as well on all platforms. If you have any questions, please write them down or put them in the chat, and Alma and I will answer them at the very end. Hopefully we don't lose you in part of it and the rest of the presentation doesn't get lost, but we usually would do the questions throughout the presentation if it was the in-person version, but this time we'll have to do that at the very end to keep the momentum going. So views really are Creative Solutions, my own, Alma's, how we use them and what we do with our clients, but there's tons of different opinions and views out there, so take it with a grain of salt. Here comes the planning phase of your going live. So why would you even want to go live in the first place? So you'd want to make sure you can connect with people. It's instant feedback and instant interactions, whereas if you just use social media as a posting platform, you don't get that sort of one-on-one interaction capabilities. You can engage in real time, you can answer questions, you can capture more eyeballs so that you'll be able to send a notification to everybody saying, so-and-so's live now. You build human connections, which is obviously what this is all about in the first place, which we pride ourselves in that. It's all about the human touch. And you're less production pressure. So going live is similar to Zoom right now. Like we're live at the moment right now. And if we mess up, okay, that's cool. If we say the wrong word, that's okay. We can fix it. But when you start to have the really professional videos that you strive to have, like a commercial, that's a lot more production pressure. So going live is just like, it's just me, it's just you, it's just what we're chatting about at the time. Facebook recently stated that live video generates 6 times more interactions on social media than regular video, a regular post. That's a huge number when you think about it. So if you are having nerves about going live, you know, do some videos, pre-record them beforehand, but make sure that if you feel, once you feel comfortable doing your regular videos where you're actually recording them and you can mess up and then you can re-record and you can mess up again and re-record it, going live is a little bit different, right? But there's less pressure. So if you are ready to go live, it's 6 times more interaction than regular video. So you have to sort of determine whether you're going to do a one-off type of video, like you're going to set a date, I'm going to do this thing and that's what it is, or if you're going to have like a regular series. Like Alma, do you know what days, you know, are some of our clients go live, for instance, or they pick a day?
Right. So Natalie, one of our realtors, she goes live on Tuesdays and Fridays. And Tuesdays, we have a calendar set out where she has a list of topics that she wants to talk about real estate. So recently there was an update to CMHC rules for like mortgage rules, and she brought on a mortgage advisor she did an interview with him. They went live at the same time. On Fridays, she likes to do something more casual. So she'll do some cooking, she'll do a home tour, and then recently, I mean, with being a Black realtor, she talked about Black Lives Matter and her experience. And so it became a lot more personal. And then, so it helps balance out. Not everybody can do 2 lives a week. It is, you know, it takes a lot of planning and preparation. But we also have another client, Mary, and she goes once a week. And you know what, I feel that she's going to start loving it more and going to, but it just takes that first couple of times to really get the bugs out, get the nerves out. Even for myself, Hollie knows today I was nervous. Today's my first time going on a workshop with her. And even it's more the anticipation of you're going to be in front of people, you're going to be live. But once you're there, you actually, you know, we're all professionals in our field. We know our businesses. We know what, you know, we know our audiences. And it's just about speaking to them one-to-one. You're really, you know, right now I'm looking at Hollie and I'm basically speaking to her one-to-one. And when you go, if you choose to go live, it's a great way to get to know your audience and for them to get to know you and your business, especially right now during COVID when, you know, there's so many curbside pickups or, you know, everything is online. It's a way for you to, you know, that greeting you would have given the customer had your store been open is the one that you're going to be able to do on live.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks. So yeah, we have a couple clients that have a regular schedule. We have some clients that just do one-offs. So like if they have a live event or they want to do something special, like a birthday or something, they can go live then as well. So
exactly. Or if they have a product, you know, they have an upcoming product launch and they want to start building up anticipation for that, that's another great way to go live. And then you have people who want to tune in to see what this new product is going to be. There's so many different ways, and we'll get into that, I know, in the next few slides.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to think about the duration as you're planning, typically, you know, 20 minutes is sufficient. You know, if you go any more than 20 minutes, you start to see deer in headlights or people dropping off. You want to be able to capture their attention, keep going, but maybe it could be encouraging them to stay on. Maybe there's a prize at the end, maybe you can do a contest, something to encourage them to stay on, but set expectations. You can say, we're going on from this time to this time, and stick to those times as well. And you have to have a goal. What's your goal? Mm-hmm. You just want to educate people? Do you want to have a call to action at the end? Do you want to build really strong connection, a relationship, showcase your personality, sell items? What is your goal for all of this? So this is just one tool to then market whatever you're trying to do in order to gain more visibility, to get more eyeballs on you and your business. All right. So best use case for live streaming. Emma, do you want to go over all of these different ones?
Sure. I think we can both add things in as we go, because in case I forget anything, feel free to jump in. So the first one is question and answer and ask me anything. Ask me anything. I'm not sure if any of you have seen that. A lot of celebrities do that. They, it really is an ask me anything. People will just comment and maybe have some questions that you wouldn't normally think about. And it's a way to be really honest and real about what's happening in your life or your business. Q&As, like I was saying, for one of our realtors, she'll have a list of questions about us topics such as the condo market, and that will be the topic. That's what we promote for her. So people who tune in for that broadcast know that to come with their questions for that particular topic. Interviews are a great way to, interview a colleague or peers or just another business owner. It's just a great way to get that interaction with, all of a sudden you bring in the audience of that person's audience into your world as well. So it's a great way to broaden the scope of your lives. Anything else you want to add for interviews, Holly?
No, it's good.
No, tutorials and training, basically what we're doing right now. If you want to teach something to your audience. I'm not really very familiar right now with the different businesses that everyone's coming from, but let's say it's a bakery and you wanted to do a little tutorial on cookie decorating, something that would really capture eyeballs, capture attention, and show that you have that knowledge base and you want to share it for free. Number 4, showcase your event live. Holly and I love doing this when, last year when we had and in the past few years when we've had our events going on, like Taste of the Kingsway, Toronto Rib Fest, we would have both of our phones going, sometimes another phone, and our phone chargers, and we would go live at the event. So a lot of them, they all have they have live music. So we would go to that stage, we'd go live, we'd be able to tag the business, tag the people that were the artist on stage. And we'd go live that way. So that's a great way to get more people to come to your event. You start in the morning and people are tuning in to seeing what's going on. And especially if you have an event going on for, let's say, a weekend, people are excited. They want to show up for the next day. And create a live series is if you have a specific topic. We're going to be talking about in the next few slides. But if you have a topic that you want to expand upon, it can be your series of, we have one, our realtor, she does chat with Nat, because her name is Natalie, and it's just or we have coffee talk with Mary, and it's a way to, you have your series that you watch on TV. It gives you a reason to be going live, and it gives a person a reason to tune in because that's the reason that's a series they enjoy.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, for the tutorials and training as well, it can be classified like as a webinar, as if you want to look at it that way too. So if you have a content like a webinar, and you want to go live on social media at the same time using the same type idea with the slideshow and all that, you can do that on going live on Instagram and Facebook. All right, shake the nerves out. I usually literally shake out the nerves. I don't know if you guys do the same. You're prepping for video, just shake it out. If you're prepped and ready, no problems, right? If you're not so prepped and ready, that's when more nerves come on. So have a roadmap, have a list of 3 to 4 pre-written questions ready, mostly in case no one comes, right? So the whole idea is going live is to have that interaction, to have that back and forth. If you have this Q&A or ask me anything and no one comes and no one asks you anything, that means that you're still going to go live. You're still going to have the recording because you don't know if anyone's going to come or not. And you're going to have some pre-written questions ready just in case. So you'll be like, oh, no one's here. Great. So Jim just asked me a question, and then you can say what the question is. So I can see some people laughing because you've probably seen it happen. But do it. Have it prepped. Like, who's better to ask you questions than yourself? Write out an outline of basically what you'll be sharing, talking about, or demonstrating in your video, and just prop it next to whatever device you're recording with, just so when you're looking at your device, you can kind of see the Cole's Notes version over to the side, and that way you're a little bit more prepared and not as nervous. So include some cues for specific actions like screen sharing or demonstrating. When you get more comfortable with it, it just becomes second nature. But for those first couple, yeah, it's nerve-wracking for sure, but if you can be more prepped, the better. And Alma's favorite tip is find a fake attendee. So Alma, do you want to describe that? Because I know exactly what you mean by this.
Well, what it means is that you find somebody who's a friend or colleague who can join your live as an audience member, and you give them the pre-written questions, because I find, especially with our clients who I've been on this journey with them when they first started going live, and at the very beginning you might only have 5 viewers, you might only have 8 viewers, and that, because that viewership builds up just like a TV show. You know, it might not have a lot at the beginning, but as you get consistent, you show good quality, you know, it's a good quality content, people will tune in. But sometimes it helps, you know, no one really wants to, in any situation, no one really wants to ask the first question. You have a planted audience member there, who you give your pre-written questions to, and then they'll type in there, hey, Holly, what do you think of going on Instagram Live? But Holly already knows that question is coming, and it gets the ball rolling. And I've seen it so many times that it gets other people starting to ask questions because the ice is broken. And then you also know that you have someone you trust on the other end who you're interacting with. And you have your pre-written questions. You can always say something like, oh, clients have been asking me what the best technique is for this, or what I see for the future of the housing market. And I keep saying real estate, but instead you can have the other person who's joining your live to ask those questions for you.
Yeah, and we do have,
it's one of my favorite things.
We do have realtors in the group, so it's cool to continue to use them.
Perfect. It's where my brain is, because that's we have we're working on a live for Friday for Natalie. So I just have a lot of realtor tips and tricks and and live content on my brain right now. Yeah.
So yeah, the fake attendee thing works really, really well. So you want to be able to have someone support you. It's not like you're talking to a blank screen. It's like you're talking to them, and you know that they're there because they're asking questions. So it does make you feel more comfortable as well. All right, here's your setup checklist. And like I said, you guys will be getting this slide as well as the recorded video. So you can use this, you can print this out if you'd like, but don't kill trees if you absolutely need to. So the setup checklist, make sure your phone battery is charged. That is number one for a reason, especially if you're gonna go live on your phone. You want your blueprint, your outline ready with your questions. You want to set up the background is organized, so you have exactly what they're gonna see in the background. It's not really loud or anything. Great lighting, sturdy tripod, and a decent microphone. Do the testing beforehand, always test things out before. Limited distractions. I can't say no distractions because okay, we all get distracted, but flip your phone over if you're not using it. If you're using your computer, if you're using your phone, make sure that there's no distractions behind you as well, no loud noises. Have a goal and a call to action. What do you want from this, right? So if you want someone to download something, if you want just to have this as a educational purpose, like we do for this, for instance, just have the goal set in your mind of why you're even doing this in the first place. Have your fake attendee confirmed with the questions, so make sure they're prepared. And if you have a guest coming, make sure that they're also prepared and ready. Now you want to pick a platform. So in the write-up about this particular workshop, we have the Instagram and Facebook, but we're going to talk about LinkedIn as well, because I have had a lot of questions about LinkedIn, going live on LinkedIn, because especially if you're B2B, business to business, it is a good platform to possibly go live on, but it's convoluted, and I'll tell you why. So Instagram, Facebook, super easy to do, okay? So Alma's gonna get ready with her screen share as well. So what we're gonna do is go live. On Instagram, hopefully what you guys will see is Alma's getting ready to share her screen to show you the step-by-step, and I'm going to be reading out each of those steps. So you have a visual as well as the recording of the steps, and you have the actual steps. Alma, are you able to share your screen?
It's actually just giving me, if you don't mind talking for 30 more seconds, I think because of this new link, it's just giving me a little trouble. So if you wouldn't mind holding for a moment, just need to adjust a setting here.
Yeah, and Tyler might need to give you access to that. We're just not too sure yet. So has anybody actually, like, hands up, raise hand, gone live on Instagram yet? No. Has anybody gone live in general? No. Okay, little bits. Angela, yours is Facebook? Yeah, okay. So we'll get into Facebook as well. Instagram, you can only go live on your phone, whereas Facebook, you can actually go live on your computer and your phone. So just looking at that person. And if we don't get this to work visually, totally fine. We'll just go through the steps and you guys can try it out yourself, which is totally fine. So on Instagram.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It's just not
That's
working.
cool. No, you know what? We tested it and it worked earlier, and you always have a backup plan. And that should be on the list. Always have a backup plan. So on your phone with Instagram, like I said, it's only available on your actual phone, not your computer. You can collaborate with guests. You can ask followers questions, followers can ask you questions. You can ask them questions and they can respond back to you in the message. And you can also stream to your story as well. So normally what you do, you would want to swipe right. So if you're on your timeline, like this is your timeline. And so this is your, oh, I'm on the wrong account here. Multiple accounts. So this is your account. It's like working with a mirror. It's really weird. So that's your account. And then if you press the home button, that's your home screen. So if you swipe right there, it'll go over to the live button. You see live there? So it might have started under layout or normal. It probably started under normal. And what I did was I just swiped the bottom over to get the live. And then that middle button, you basically just hit record. And then at the end of it, so as you're recording, as you're talking, a lot of people, what they do is when they hit record, they stare at it for a couple seconds and they just wait. And so the recording, once you download it, will actually have you staring at it and waiting. So if you can just start talking right away and just be like, all right, guys, we're just getting set up here. Let's see what happens. So at least you're being interactive. You can also go and swipe, go to the tap the camera on the left. So if you can see that little camera, whoops, right there. If you click on that instead, that'll make you go live as well.
Holly, do you want to try one thing and come off of screen sharing and see if maybe that bumps me, it gives me the access on my phone?
Go.
Let's see. Okay. Maybe this will work because everything, I just double checked all my settings. Unfortunately, it's not giving me a screen share option. I'm sorry. Everything else I can share, but not my screen.
All good. We'll just continue to do it this way anyways. Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so that's pretty much how you do Instagram. So you can swipe right from your timeline, or you tap the camera on the left-hand corner of the phone. Then you tap that middle button, which starts the live streaming. And so you have people asking questions. You can see all the questions popping up. If you're not sure how that looks, what you'll want to do is just go on your Instagram in general, and at the top, you see this little pink button on everyone where it says live, 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 live. So actually those people are all currently live. And I don't know if you've noticed, but during the quarantine, that bar up there has gone nuts. There are so many people going live right now. So you might be in the mix of everybody if you are going live, but pick the right time of day to go live for your audience and when your people are on. And you can do a survey, you can check your analytics, but you want to make sure, like, if you're crowded, it's okay, but people are going to want to see you. And so just let them know you want to market it ahead of time. So that's, if you wanted to see what it looks like with the comments and everything, just go click on one of those current live ones and you can see all the different comments and everything popping up. So that's what you would have to keep track of as you're talking to people. So you can say, do you have any questions, blah, 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 and then a question might pop up, but you have to make sure you read that, right? So you can have a friend with you, if you'd like, logged into your Instagram as well. Maybe they're the ones feeding you questions or asking you questions, so that you can keep talking. So it is quite distracting when it comes to Instagram live, but it does work. So the Q&A thing, the questions will still be there, but it does definitely, you want to just keep on track of that. So after you've gone live and you end it, it'll have this little drop down arrow at the very top left-hand corner. What happens with live is you can post it on your timeline, you can post it to your stories, But once you do that and you close your app off, the video's like gone. So if you ever want to share it to other platforms like YouTube or IGTV or Facebook or Twitter or even LinkedIn, you have to download it. So there's a little download button at the top left-hand corner, and you'll get to download it and save it to your phone instead. All right, so again, prepare your questions for the very end if you have questions specifically about Instagram. And cool. Next up is Facebook on mobile. So Facebook on mobile is actually quite intuitive, super easy to use. It is, you literally go to, hopefully everyone here has Facebook Business Manager app. So, or Pages app. So if you have regular Facebook on your, so you have regular Facebook in the middle there. And then on the side there with that yellow flag or orange flag, that's actually a Facebook Pages app. So if you want to manage your Facebook page, your business page from your phone, you need a Pages app. Because what will happen is sometimes what we'll do is we'll have just the regular Facebook app. Someone will make a comment on our page, on one of our posts. And then when we go in there to comment back to them, it's a 50-50 chance that it's going to be you personally commenting or your business page commenting. I don't know if you guys ever had that happen. I see some, yeah, it's super irritating. Some people haven't, it's okay. But the Facebook Pages Manager app, that's the one that you can actually manage all your pages or your page from, and you'll always respond back as your page. So it's super useful to have. So I would go into my Pages Manager, or if you go into regular Facebook, you go to your actual page, and then you tap to create a post, just a regular post, and it'll say, go live. So you click on the go live. It's very similar to the one that's on your computer as well. And then you have options. So you can tap to write a short description for your video. I highly recommend you do that so that people know what they're getting into. If they see it come up, oh, so-and-so's live, it'll pop up if they're on Facebook, and they'll see a little preview of what you're talking about. So make it catchy. You can tap, once you are in your screen and you can see your own face, there's a little 3 dots on the top right-hand corner. You can pick your desired audience for your video. I wouldn't bother to do that myself because you want everyone that follows your page basically to get notified if they're on Facebook at that time. The other option is bring a friend. Alma and I tested that today. Totally didn't work. It crashed. I have no idea what it's for. It's optional. Try it out sometime and see what happens. Let me know. And then you hit the blue button and you start your live video, and then you start streaming. And then once you end it, it'll say like processing, and then it'll ask you to post it to your actual timeline. You want to do that. And on Facebook, you can download the video, or you can save the video before you post it as well, similar to Instagram. All right, we have go live on your computer. Very, very, very similar. You want to create the box in your newsfeed. It says live video as well. Click the camera to use your webcam, or connect to use a different input source if you have within your actual computer. Select where your video will appear. So you can add your title and description there. You want to appear in your timeline, and then click the blue button to go live. So Facebook to me is more intuitive. When you've never gone live on Instagram, you have no idea where to find it. And there's been many times that I've been at events with Alma specifically, and I'm like, I'm sorry, how do you go live again? I can't remember for the life of me.
Exactly.
Every single time. She's like, come on.
Yeah.
So those are the very basic rules of how to actually go live. Now let's talk about going live on both. This is the #1 question that I get asked all the time. I want to go live on Facebook and Instagram at the exact same time because I have different audiences. I'm like, cool. Yeah, you can't do it. So,
which really makes no sense. You'd think that at this point that Facebook and Instagram being so intertwined, it would be as easy as being able to choose to post to stories in Instagram and Facebook. So it is a confusing thing. Hopefully when we do this, another one of these workshops in a few months, things have changed. That's our hope.
Facebook owns Instagram. So get your shit together, people. Let's do this. So There are third-party apps. StreamYard is actually one that is really popular. So if you ever want to go live on literally everything, like at the same time, you can use StreamYard to do that. It's a third-party app. Just know that Instagram is extremely particular when it comes to allowing outside apps. And we've all talked about, anyone that's been to any of my workshops, I give you a huge list of apps. Instagram is finicky. They don't want you to use third-party apps, whereas Facebook's like, log in with Facebook, log in with Facebook, let's do Facebook. Like, they don't care, they want everything because they get access to your stuff. But Instagram really doesn't like that. So you can still do it, just be warned that it's not official. So StreamYard is a really good option. One idea that you could possibly do is you can have 2 phones. So as an option, you can have your phone and your computer. So you do your Facebook Live from your computer, you have your your Instagram Live from your phone. You can have them sort of setting up towards each other, have your notes over to the side, lots going on. Don't do that at the very beginning. Do that only when you get more comfortable, when you feel like, I got this, and then you want to expand from there. Just keep in mind that double the broadcast also means double the comments to keep track of. StreamYard actually streams everything together, but if you're using the phone and the computer idea, there's double the comments. So get a friend to help you monitor them or something, right? So yeah, just be prepared for that. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a really, really good platform to go live again if you're B2B. The only thing about LinkedIn is that you actually have to apply to be a streamer, a live broadcaster on LinkedIn. So not everybody can do it, and some people do get rejected. There's no rhyme or reason, in my opinion, yet of why people are rejected or why they're approved. I have seen some people get rejected, no explanation at all. They reapplied and they got accepted. So hard to really say. So if you want to go live on LinkedIn, there's a link here. When you get this document, you can click on anything that's underlined. They're all hyperlinked, and you can apply right then and there. If you're accepted, here's some really basic steps, but you won't really need these until you get accepted. So you have, it's a little more complicated. You have 2 devices before you start streaming. One will be for your video, and one will be for monitoring your comments. So whatever has the best video output you would choose between your computer or your phone. Register for broadcasting tool from a third-party app. There's 2 links right there as well. And you authenticate your LinkedIn account with those. Then you click the broadcast button on your third-party play tool and you film it. And you use the second device to watch for comments or to get a friend to monitor, like we mentioned, respond on your camera as they come in. So I would say Instagram to me is the easiest one to get started with on how to monitor comments, how to save the video, how to post the video. Facebook would be next. It's the easiest one to like start, but Instagram to me is the easiest one to actually monitor and to get more views because more people are on Instagram right now. And then LinkedIn is, in my opinion so far, garbage. But it's not to say it's going to be garbage forever. It's just a mess. Like, I don't even understand how to even use it right now. But we've
had everybody try to apply for it, but it's never come through. We've never got the approval. And you're right, there's no rhyme or reason.
No. So no. People that have got approved do see a lot of success in it. And if you go through your timeline of everyone that you're following, if you see someone that's went live on LinkedIn, it looks pretty cool. It sounds great. But again, you can't do it unless you actually get approved. So here's 5 ways to actually promote your live video prior to it happening. Alma, do you want to talk about these ones?
For sure. So number 1, post across all social media platforms leading up to the date. What we do is simple. It's a really simple post where you're talking about, if you have the title, if you have a series for it, like I was saying, we had Chat with Nat or Coffee with Mary, something like that to make it catchy, to give people an idea that you are going live. Put the time there so people know when it's happening, and then make sure that content goes out to all your social channels. If you're posting on Facebook but you're going on Instagram, you can include your Instagram handle, a link to your Instagram, so all people have to do is click on it and they'll be going over to your Instagram page. Hopefully they have both apps, especially on their phone, and it will just automatically open up. It's super easy. Number 2 is Instagram and Facebook stories, and use the countdown feature. And our social media managers love the countdown feature because if someone sees if someone sees that you're going to be going live on Instagram on Friday, they can actually put in they can actually tap it to get a notification. So as Friday comes, they'll see, oh, Mary is going live in 5 minutes. Come join. And it's a great way that way, because there's so many things going on in our lives. It's a great way to keep track.
This is the example.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what you're seeing.
Yeah, so this is the example of what it looks like. So we use the countdown on a story, and it actually, people click on it and to set reminders for themselves. So today's webinar or today's session, for instance, a whole bunch of people actually clicked on the reminder. So they all got reminders. They did not necessarily going to attend, but they at least got reminders that it's happening at that time. So if you're using the countdown feature, it will send reminders to people.
And it's really easy to set up on your Instagram stories. And if you link your Instagram and Facebook accounts, then that story goes to both platforms and you're taken care of there. Number 3, send a notice to your email database. And I know Holly loves doing that with Creative Solutions. Whenever she's going to be hosting a workshop, I know a few days before, a week before, she'll send out an email blast to everybody with an easy way for them to sign up for the link and for us to keep track of registrants. Number 4, add an announcement banner to your website. Another great way for if someone doesn't even know that you're on Instagram, but they find you on Facebook, they found you on Google, they do a search and then they see that you go on Instagram. It's a way to promote that you're on Instagram and then get people aware that this is happening. And number 5, create a Facebook event on your business page. Holly and I love Facebook events. I find for my own personal life, I find so many great things happening because of Facebook events. You say that you're interested in even one of them and Facebook starts showing you so many more. So it's great for your business if you're going to be on Instagram Live, make it a Facebook event. You can add the link there that will go back to your Instagram page. But, there's always a chance that someone is looking up something in new market for another business, and Facebook will see that and then use the algorithm to show them that you're actually having an event as well. So it's a great benefit. I love Facebook events.
Yeah, and when it comes to the announcement bar on your website banner, that's a really simple tool to do in anything from Squarespace, Wix, WordPress. It's a really simple feature, and it just sort of adds an announcement at the very top of the website, and it could say, we go live every Tuesday to talk about blah, blah, blah. And so you can click there to go RSVP, or you can have a registration page on your website, for instance, where people sign up to get notifications. So every Monday night or Tuesday morning, you can send a reminder around that we're going live at 2 o'clock today, remember? So the more touch points, the more you can remind people, the better, because not everybody's on social at that time. But for instance, for today, this could have technically been a live on social media. You guys would just be notified, and we would have been there instead of here, right? But we wouldn't do that to the chamber. Keep going. Okay, so it does take some time to build an audience, which you guys know, especially if anyone has gone to any of these social schools in the past. It's not just social media is a tool where you post and you advertise all the time and you just hope everyone's going to come because you have awesome stuff. So community management is a really big part of that. Whereas if you're going to go live, the notification pops up to most likely only the people that actually follow you. And you can use certain words or hashtags to be found. But the more people that know about you and the more people that come to your live and your actual pages like Instagram and Facebook, the more likely they're going to keep coming back and be part of your crew, right? So be yourself, share your knowledge and your passion, and just have fun with it. A lot of people just take this stuff so seriously and they get stressed out about it. But really, what's the worst that can happen? You attract the right audience and the right people by being yourself, and you're sharing great information and knowledge about what you're passionate about, and people are learning stuff at the same time. It's kind of the worst thing that can happen, in my opinion, unless you're not wearing pants and the video goes down by mistake or something. Wear pants. That's just, be prepared. That should be part of the checklist. Wear pants in case the camera falls. And, be prepared with your list of questions. So this is sort of like the end checklist, I guess you could say. just be prepared with your questions, make some real connections. Really what it's all about is being a human, meeting other humans, human talk, education, learn. Be responsive and interactive. So you want, like normally if this is an in-person class that we're doing, the whole time we're talking back and forth, I'm asking you guys questions, raise this, do that. Here it's a little bit more difficult, but on a live, for instance, you can do the quality and control, and you can end with a call to action. So you can end, you don't have to always end with a call to action. Like at this one, for instance, like we're not going to be ending with a call to action. It's like, well, reach out if you need us kind of thing. But if it's a specific goal that you're trying to achieve and you're using live or webinars or any other type of media platforms to promote your thing that you want to convert, lives could be one that you want to use, and you have to make sure that they understand why you're doing it in the first place. And just breathe it out, you know, like there's some stuff that's going to happen. Some weird stuff happens. Like Alma recently was on a live call with Mary and telling them the story, like some weird stuff happened.
Well, Mary was really excited because she got a notification. When you go on Instagram, anyone who goes on Instagram to tune into a broadcast, you actually get a little button that says request to join. And it means not just request to join in the comments, it's request to join, put your face out there, you're joining the broadcast. And Mary, we've never had that happen before. And there was a gentleman who was so bold and was bold enough to request to join access, and Mary decided to give him access, and because she didn't know exactly what that meant. And all of a sudden there is a man on the screen who's wearing a short, very, very short pink silky robe, a huge smile on his face, and like blowing her kisses and saying, oh, it's so great that you invited me to participate, and all this kind of stuff. And we quickly, I even wrote in the comments to her, this, please remove this gentleman from the call. And she was able to handle it like a pro. And she just said, well, it was nice chatting with you, talk to you another time, and then kicked him off it. But we were lucky that his robe was long enough, and we were lucky that he didn't try anything else. But it's one of those things, it's a great feature for when you actually, you have that person that you want to interview. They're sitting at home or at their business, and they're on their Instagram, and they would actually request to join your live broadcast. So part of the planning is to know what that person's Instagram handle is. So when that request comes in, you know that you're hitting accept for the right person and not the man in the short robe.
Yeah. And that stuff can happen for sure. So just
it can.
Obviously,
she dealt with it so well.
Yeah.
And I think it shows, this is now part of her Instagram TV channel. And if someone is looking for a new realtor and they happen to watch that video, they'll see how cool, calm, and collected. She wasn't bothered by it at all. And it goes to show her personality, her strength, how she handles, difficult situations. So it really showed who she was. And that's another great thing about being live is, even though it's not just being a race, it's part of your brand of who you are. So you can really let people know that this is who I am, and you want to do business with me because I'm a genuine person, I care, I'm passionate, and I want to help you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one other quick story too. This is a really positive one. I had this guy in Australia. He invited a whole bunch of people to go live, he was going live, and he was going to be interviewing somebody. And so he goes live, and a whole bunch of us jumped on, and we're like, oh cool, this is going to be great, like this is a really good topic that they're covering. And the guest didn't show up, and so he's panicking because he doesn't know anything about the topic. And he's like, Hollie, are you ready to do a live video right now? Can you jump on board and jump in as a guest? And sure, I was like, of course, like I'll jump in wherever. And so I was able to invite myself as a guest. He was able to accept. We both did the live together. It was a really great thing because if I hadn't have been on there, we got a couple interested people to do business with at the same time, of being able just to talk about it. So if you guys can be guests on other people's like podcasts or live shows, especially if they're doing interview series or Ask Me Anything, if you have strategic partners that you guys have the same audience, just ask to be a guest on someone else's show. I'm sure they'll welcome you to come on board. You can prepare your own questions. if you have other people that you want on guest on your show as well, or if you're live, to make it a lot easier for you to start, that's a perfect opportunity to start as well. Especially if they have experience going live, they can help you, walk you through it as well. All right, so this is a quote that I actually really liked from Sprout Social. Going live is just a window into your brand experience in real time. Whereas your website, when you get to your website, we know sort of like who you are, what you offer, all of that, the type of colors and pictures that are there, how easy it is to use, how easy it is to contact you, your social media handles are there. Social media is a really great tool to connect with people on a human level, whereas your website really isn't. Social media is great for that, but imagine if it was real time. So now using social media in that extra step of going real time and walking back and forth and chatting back and forth, similar to a webinar or similar to like things like this that we're doing on Zoom. So it's a really, really good tool to use, and I highly recommend you guys consider it. And it's okay if you mess up, and it's okay if you say something wrong or do something wrong. Your people are going to support you, and it's okay if no one shows. Have your best friend or a person that you trust, like that fake attendee, to actually ask some questions so that you're not just staring at a blank screen. All right, so we're going to open this up to Q&A time here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now. I'm going to move all you guys back over to this particular thing. I'm going to check the chat as well, so no questions in there. Perfect. So if you guys want to come onto video, that's cool. If you want, make sure you're wearing pants. If you want to come onto microphone, that's cool. If you also want to write in the chat, I'd like to hear any experiences that you guys have had in, you know, any of the different lives that maybe you've attended. Maybe you have created your own live and maybe it didn't go so well, or maybe it was amazing and you actually got some stuff out of it. Just let us know if you have any questions at all. All right, so there's one question here. It says, how do I reach my audience if they don't participate on social media very much? So that's more of like, to me, an overall marketing question over the live specifically. So if your particular audience is not on social media, maybe that's not where you should be as well. So, you know, you'd want to really dig into the personalities of the actual, your target market, which we would call personas, once we got deeper into what motivates them, where they're attending, where they're at, and then where they're influenced. So if they're not on social media is really not a great place for you to be then. Like maybe it's being interviewed in a local magazine or a local paper. Like I know the Newmarket has their news as well. Maybe you write an article for that, or maybe you are trying to get someone else's target market and you're doing, you're being a guest on someone's show as well. So it really depends. If your audience isn't on social, it might not be where you need to be as well. Hopefully that answered your question, Matthew. If not, ask more questions. Anybody have some more questions? Want to come on, or like experiences as well? So I have another person here that asked a question or was a comment. So let me just read it. I was on a Zoom call that was hacked. Is this a problem going live? I know Alma mentioned the one instance, but he did ask to join where the Zoom case was a hack. Yeah, so far, that's a great question. So far, I definitely have seen Zoom calls been hacked. Actually, our website developer, her Zoom link was hacked and she wasn't even on it. Someone got into her Zoom link without a password, and she has a password protected. And they were recording a video of themselves. So it was downloaded to her computer and she's like, what the hell is this? And so she had to change all of her login and everything. So far, I have never seen that happen. I think Facebook and Instagram have such strong security that I've never seen something like that happen. I have seen though, like with Mary, for instance, someone asked to join the Zoom call as a guest. And I've even been live and someone asked to join it. And I was like, sure. Happened to be a good person, so it was fine. But just be careful that you're not necessarily, I think, going to get hacked from a Facebook or Instagram point of view for live, but there are definitely creepers and trolls out there that will ask to join, and it's not a good join or a guest, I'd say.
It's not, but you have control, and Mary was able to get rid of him quickly. And then if someone is trolling in the comments, you can mute comments as well. So you do have that control.
Yeah.
And hopefully people have better things to do with their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another question here. I did a live interview with another lady last week, and she set it up as a Zoom and then sent it live on Facebook. How do you make your Zoom go live in real time? So Angela, she set up, so you guys were recording a Zoom call, like you guys were on Zoom together, and then she sent it to live on Facebook? I don't have an answer for that.
I can actually jump in there.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, that depends on your level of Zoom. So if it depends on what level you're paying for Zoom, that becomes an option. I believe it's called webinars.
Okay.
You have to have that as a paid option on your Zoom account to be able to access that, and then it sends whatever you're feeding from Zoom directly to your Facebook Live on your account there.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks Tyler for jumping in for that, because I definitely did not know that answer.
Yeah.
I didn't buy into the webinar platform for that, and I've never seen anyone go live like that, so that's quite interesting. Of course, I'm going to investigate it more because that's my brain.
Yeah, I paid for the basic upgrade for the first level of Zoom, so I thought maybe it was something that I could do. But she set it all up, so I had no idea. But just looking around the settings on my screen right now, I'm like, there's nowhere to send anything to Zoom. So
yeah,
right.
We did it. We did it once because we had a minister or someone like that on a call, and we wanted to avoid the security issues. But then you also run into issues of it's not very interactive. Like we would almost had to have someone else monitoring the questions coming from Facebook, and then feed them the questions to the person that was on the Zoom call, who then fed the questions to the speaker. So it was kind of convoluted. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but that was the challenge there.
If anyone had sent questions through that day, we were just talking, her and I was giving her information on my business, but if anyone had sent a question through, I assumed it would just pop up in the chat on the Zoom, I guess, but
yeah,
I wasn't sure how it was all working. I just showed up.
No, that's a good question too. I'd like to investigate that too, because you would think that the questions on Facebook Live wouldn't come to the chat on Zoom. Yeah, I would think it would only stay within Facebook, so you would have to have someone monitoring that.
Yeah, and she may have been. I don't know what she was doing on her end. There was a lot of things, but
yeah, it can be very overwhelming for sure. And if you use that StreamYard, for instance, as a third-party app to go live in multiple places, I'd be interested to see if the Zoom could also, if it goes live on Facebook, if you use StreamYard, if you can go live everywhere else as well. Right. That'd be interesting to find out. Yeah. Yeah, thank Tyler for that. That was awesome. More questions from you guys, or comments, or things that anything stand out specifically in the presentation that you're just like, oh, I didn't know that, or I'm going to go and try this immediately. And you can type it out as well.
Or if you want any ideas for your business or any topics, maybe we can do a quick brainstorming as well. Yeah, so please ask away.
Yeah, any social media specifically.
Yeah.
So Jason says, is there a minimum standard for video feed? Are you talking about like the size, like 1080 or 640, I think it is? That kind of thing? Yeah. I am not sure. I think Instagram and Facebook, the quality that comes out is the same. So are you talking about like once you've downloaded it, or are you talking about like the standard? And I will wait as you type. I see you typing. Better type fast. Just joking. Is he all spelling errors and
And a lot of it has to do with your internet quality as well. That your video itself on your phone, and Hollie's seen this with my phone sometimes, that we know that the video quality is good. The camera's great, but if I'm on my outdoor internet, it's not going to be as strong, and the video is choppy. So it's about a lot of it, I think, is having a strong bandwidth, a strong internet connection. Yeah, and then your device, if it's a newer iPhone or Android or my laptop actually does. I have a Chromebook and it does really good video as well. But the video is never going to be good if your internet's not good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So the question was, I know the picture size is different on different platforms. Or that was the statement. I'm not sure I have an answer for that. Is there a minimum standard for the video feed? Alma, do you want to Google that for a second just to see if you can find it?
Yep, I am actually.
And awesomely enough, Ted said that they just never knew that there was even a live option. So that was a huge eye-opener, I think, for them to come on to this and jump in. It's awesome. I
have another question for you, Holly.
Yes.
I know how to go on Facebook and do a live with just me, but if you want to invite somebody to go on live with you, do you have to be live and then when people watch you invite people, or how do you do it ahead of time so that you can go live and have people join you on Facebook?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let me see if I can find that for you.
I know the Instagram answer, but like Holly said, we don't have the Facebook answer, because for both of our, or for any of our clients right now, Instagram is the place to be. They have the biggest audience there, the most viewership. So that's where we've focused our video views on and our lives. And what we're asking, what we'll do is we'll download that Instagram live and then put it onto Facebook. So that's why we don't have the Facebook answer off the top of our head. The Instagram. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Do you know what? That one, remember earlier when we were testing that one out, it said like invited guest, and it didn't invite anyone? Yeah. I have a feeling, so right on Facebook, as you're going through the steps, it'll say like invited guest or invite friend. So what Facebook is saying is that during the mobile live broadcast from your page, you have the live icon, which is exactly what we did. You hit live with. So it sounds to me like the person has to be currently on your live at the same time. So as soon as you go live, you notify them, okay, it's live now. They would jump on, and then you have now an option to invite that other person. Because I've been on live Facebook event as well, and that's exactly what they did. But when we went to try it today, it didn't work because I don't think I was on live with her. We were just watching her do it. And there was no option to choose a person as well. So you both have to be on the live, and then you can then choose that person. Yeah, I just read it there too. It's exactly the same thing. So we have another thing as usual. Okay, Oh, I delivered it in a non-threatening manner. Yay. Good. I sometimes have issues with internet and even phone connection at home. Scared for this tech issue on top of everything. Any ideas for outside of calling Rogers? No, call Rogers. You can get a booster. There are Wi-Fi boosters that you can get. Obviously, if you have the Ethernet plugged in over using Wi-Fi, better. If you're using your computer, close everything. Close all your freaking tabs. Everything you can imagine, stop, go to your Control Alt Delete, all your task manager, close it all. And then when you are going live, only have Facebook open. Your phone, on the other hand, it is Wi-Fi only. It's going to be a problem with that regardless, I think, if your Wi-Fi is slow. And I know Tyler has had some really fun stuff happen with Wi-Fi in his world. So he feels your pain. But yeah, it is an issue.
Yeah, if you can connect directly to your Ethernet port, oh my God, lifesaver.
Yep.
Huge difference.
And you know, even from Googling it, it's I haven't been able to find, you know, that pixel number that I know we were talking about, 1080 or 640. What it's saying is this, and just what Tyler said, the stronger the connection signal, the higher quality of video. There's no lag, there's no mismatch between the sound. If you want crystal clear high def video, then you need fast internet. And then they suggest, you know, if you want to invest, if your phone isn't that great, and then getting a lens kit, they said that improves the video. A lens kit can have a huge impact on the quality of a smartphone video. I have an iPhone X or an iPhone 8 Plus, and I find the video is fantastic on it. I think, and you know, a lot of it is you know, having a tripod, having a stabilizer, having good lighting. You know, there's so many other factors to just having your great internet. You have great internet, but then you're in a corner and you're, you know, sometimes I sit over here that way and the sun is behind me and I look terrible. So I had to move today because I knew that was going to happen for this video.
Yeah. Another question is, what do you think of Vimeo? Yeah. Vimeo is a fantastic alternative to YouTube. The benefit to Vimeo is no ads. So that's a huge bonus if as a viewer in general, and you don't have anyone else's ads distracting them from your actual video. So it's straight up. YouTube, on the other hand, has a way better search. So if you're going to do like a video, let's say on Vimeo, it may not be found as quickly from a Google search as YouTube would be. So Google is YouTube, YouTube is Google. If someone types something in Google looking for an answer, right now I typed in invite a guest to your Facebook Live on Google. First thing that pops up is an answer. The second thing that pops up is video options, and every single one of them are YouTube. So depending on your goal with it, can you go live on Vimeo? Let me just check that, if that might have been another question. Go live. Yep, it does say that you can do live streaming on video. I have never done live streaming on Vimeo or YouTube actually, but you can. I was going to add YouTube in this conversation as well, but I figured most of you guys wouldn't necessarily go, and it's not necessarily a social media platform in my opinion. And hello, cute kitty. So Vimeo and YouTube are less social for me and more of like an advertising platform that you can post stuff on. Whereas for me, like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest a little bit-ish. But those are the ones that I would focus on a social, and Google My Business page and LinkedIn. I just forgot all those things. Another question here. Can you do a webinar on Google My Business? I have just finally set up my business, so tips and tricks for boosting SEO would be great. You 100% should use Google My Business page as a social media platform. Absolutely. So especially if you have an actual location with an address that people can go to, you absolutely need a Google My Business page. And the awesome part is that you can actually post as a social media platform. So you can post images, videos, events that are popping up that you're having coming up. You can post specials and promotions on Google My Business. And it's a really fantastic tool. So if someone's Googling certain keywords and you have a really active Google My Business page, it's actually gonna pop up over someone else's. So super great. I've never done a webinar.
I don't believe you can. I've just Googled it and I've gone through a couple of pages quickly, but I don't see that as an option as being able to host a webinar on Google My Business.
Yeah, I've never seen that either, but if you guys do find it, definitely like send it over to us. We'd love to see it. But as far as I know, you can't actually do an actual webinar hosted on that. You would need another platform like Zoom webinars, or there's tons of other ones out there. But you can host, you might be asking live as well. So can you go live on Google My Business? But I don't think you can. No. So they haven't integrated that at all yet.
Surprising. It'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, Google My Business, when it was like Google Plus, it was a crap. Like it was
terrible.
Really crappy platform. Thankfully, they changed it over the way they have, and it's actually integrated into the listing. So with your address and the actual listing. So the more active you can get your Google My Business page, the more likely you will be found. And you can even be found higher on the map. So if someone's typing in naturopath near me, on the map, that comes up before actual website listings. So that map is Google My Business pages, and you can actually be found on the map over your website just by being active.
Yeah, what I was actually speaking about is the chamber, Newmarket Chamber, had a gentleman come in and do a seminar on Google My Business to talk about how to use it. And I didn't have my page set up then. So I was wondering if that's something that your company can redo, because I can't find any information, because he was telling us places to put keywords and this and that to help build your SEO. So wondering if that's a webinar for later that you can do. Nothing to do with taking videos on it, but.
Why didn't you shut me up 10 minutes ago?
I was typing and then I was erasing and then I was typing and I was erasing and then I decided to talk to you. It's easier.
But I was really excited because I was like, what? You can. So, okay. That's really funny. Every single time there's a question that can be taken two different ways, my brain automatically takes it a different way. So let's reread that.
I was going to give up, and then I thought, just talk. It's easier. So couldn't figure out how to get it out, what I wanted to say.
So when you say, can you do a webinar on Google My Business page, you mean a class like this. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, we do have one that we did last year on Google My Business page, but I can definitely get that updated because more things have happened. And we'll talk to Tyler and Leslie about doing an additional one for sure. Yeah. Thanks for clarifying that after I just talked for like no reason. But it was really
we gave ourselves an answer about something. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions from you guys? Tyler just jumped in.
Well, what I was going to ask you, speaking of, and I come from this with personal experience, if you do have internet issues and your Instagram Live or your Facebook Live or whatever platform you're doing, do you or Alma have like a backup plan as to what you would do if you did lose a connection in the middle of a live session, or do you have any suggestions for what you could do?
You know what? So I haven't yet had experience with that necessarily, but there's two experiences that we've had at events that were a pain in the butt. One is Toronto Rib Fest last year, 40+ degrees, going live, your phone had a heart attack.
Yeah, like it was tough.
My phone went like hot. I almost said blood red, but it didn't do that. My phone went so hot that it was like too hot to touch, and it just shut down in the middle of a live. So as a backup, we stood in a freezer for about 20 minutes and then went back out and did it again. So it was like, cool down, go, die. So there wasn't really that much we can do for that, for instance, but it did shut it off halfway through, and we just waited for a little bit longer. So it didn't, like, it almost looked like it was on purpose. And we haven't really abruptly stopped lives before, for sure, because, maybe someone jumped in front or they were being a fool, and then we had to abruptly stop it. But we would come back on if it was something like had it scheduled. And then the other thing that happened was at Kingsway, Taste of the Kingsway, we were going live and somebody called and it shut it off. So close your notifications, put on airplane mode, or no, I guess you can't put it on airplane mode, but close your notifications and see if you can run it that way. But as for Wi-Fi on your phone and it kind of lagging or shutting down, that's a tough one. I got nothing for that.
That's a tough. I think what I would do if I really, I would try a few times to get back on there, because it would re-notify everybody that you've gone back live. As soon as you get there, just say, sorry, I'm having internet connections. I apologize. Again, you're building that trust with your audience. You're being honest. And I think we've all had those internet issues. And if I really couldn't get on again, I would do my best to post a story and explain what happened. So if anyone was curious, they could go to stories and they would understand what happened. And then, go from there, start from scratch and figure out why this happened, do more testing about my internet and call Rogers, you know what I mean? But I think my backup plan would be to keep trying. And then if that didn't work, do a story and explain. Because eventually you will be able to get back on data or somewhere that you will have your internet back. I mean, if it's something like an outage, then what can you do? It's just, a street-wide outage of internet. You can't do anything. So I think those are the rare occasions that would happen. From all the social media we do, that's, so yeah.
That was a good solution about posting to stories and just updating some people for sure.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
And you can make it a moment where you're connecting with your audience and, you can do a post later and say, has this happened to you that you're in the middle of a great call and then your internet conks out? It's happened to all of us. So I would just twist it so it's, it becomes some way that you make yourself actually really relatable.
Yeah.
Sucks if it happens though.
And someone raised their hand. Do you want to ask the question? Oh, you're on mute. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Myself. There
you go.
Great presentation, everyone.
Thank you.
We do a lot of Zoom meetings and a lot of webinars, and we find it's really important that the internet doesn't go down. And I know in our area, we're in Unionville, Markham, they just keep selling more and more, and the tunnel's the same size, and if you keep selling more, the tunnel gets impossible. So what we found is helpful is hardwire everything. We have a hardwire, and our internet comes into the basement of the house. I'm on the 3rd floor. We actually have a hardwiring going upstairs through there. Whether it's the computer or whether it's the iPad, we have a little adapter for the hardwire, Ethernet plug to go right into the adapter to go in the iPad. So last night we were doing a Zoom in our gazebo. But wherever we are, except now I'm at the office, I just popped in because I was biking here. Wherever we are, we find hardwire everything. Because at least
that's a fantastic.
all you can really do because there's so much latency on Wi-Fi. So just one question, if I may ask. We're doing a bit of this, and we find the problem with Facebook is it only reaches the same 25 or so people that I always get or interact with. And I know if you have a watch party, you're able to access about 100 or so. Are there any other techniques that you're aware of that could help us? So when we have our corporate Facebook page, we have our personal. My personal has a lot more repeat contacts than the corporate. How do we get further out to reach out more people, given the limitations that I've described?
Yeah, I like the idea of the watch party for sure. So as your business page is going live, you can have your personal page doing the watch party on it. Or if you decide that you want to go live on your personal page, you can certainly do that as well. So it depends on how many people are personal and how many people are business. It's your friends on your personal page. So if you go live on your personal, you can just say, hey guys, I'm only doing this once in a while because I know you guys are interested, but my business page will be up and running. I want you guys all to go over here and like it, and then you can get them to go over there and like it, and then there'll be more people on the business page so that when you go live on your actual business page, there actually is more people there. Again, marketing it, putting in banners on your website, email newsletter, as many things as you can do to market and get more people on your pages, the more eyeballs you'll be able to market to when you're going live.
Great, so thank you. Let's connect after. So I take it when posts, like your regular post on Facebook, you only hit 25 people. If you do the watch party, that's when you need to do the watch party live or recorded to really get further reach on Facebook to your contacts.
Yeah, so it depends on who you are and how many people you have following you as well, and what time of day and when they're online and that kind of stuff. So one day you might only get 3 people on your live on your business page, and one day you might get a couple hundred, depending on how many followers or likes that you have on there. So we have, one client that has, a couple thousand people that like the Facebook page, so they would get a bigger reach when they go live. And so we would want to market it prior, making sure everyone knows that this is the day you're going live, make sure they're there, and a couple minutes before, send out the reminder, like all that kind of stuff. But if you're not really doing those things, then you are relying on just the people that are on your Facebook page that like it, that are on Facebook at that time.
Great. Well, let's connect after the webinar. But you guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much for your hard work and presentation today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Look, we love talking social media, and you guys know that I can talk for hours. And I have Alma here. Oh, you guys are in for trouble. The whole afternoon. All right, so we're going to close it off there. If you guys have any further questions, you all know where to reach us. The document with our contact information will be sent around, as well as the video. And Tyler will send it out whenever he can get to that. I thank you guys for taking your time today, and reach out anytime. Cool?
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Alma.
Bye. You're welcome.
Bye. Enjoy the day.